Okay, students, how are you all? Okay, I hope all of you are fine. I hope you understood yesterday's biology class. Okay, students. So, students, today we will start with chapter 1 of chemistry, and you can use your microphones for answering. Okay, but before that, I would like to ask few questions from you. Question number 1. Can we call microorganisms matter? Give reasons for your answer. Shubhanita, you will answer. You can use your microphone to answer, Shubhanita. Because writing in the WhatsApp will take time. So, and please hurry up, students, in answering because I am asking very short questions. Okay, question number 2 is how many states of matter are there? Priyanshu, kindly answer the question. You can use your microphone. 3rd question, give examples of gaseous states of matter. Konki, use your microphone to answer. So before proceeding with the chapter, I would like to give you answers and the explanation. Can we call microorganisms matter? Why? Now students, this you are studying from class 5, I think. What is matter? What is matter? Matter is nothing. It is anything. It is anything which occupies space and which has mass. Mass, you can say weight. Actually, exactly, mass and weight are not similar, but you will study in physics the difference between two. But just for your understanding, you can consider it as weight. So, matter is anything which occupies space and which has mass or weight. Now, if you keep a book on your table, so that book is occupying space and book has weight also, so book is a matter. If you keep your water bottle on your table, that is also what matter. So anything which has which occupies space, even a single strand of hair is also a matter because it is also occupying space and it also has mass. So yes, students, microorganisms are matter because they have weight, though the weight it is very, very small. And they also occupy space. We cannot see microorganism, but we can see it under the microscope, and they are also occupying very, very less space. So microorganisms are also matter. Next question is, how many states of matter are there? Students, there are 3 states of matter: solid, liquid, and gases. Give examples of gaseous states of matter. Gaseous states of matter is what? Steam, air. They are in gaseous form. You all know that there are 3 states of matter, that is solid, liquid, and gas. Because matter is what? Anything which occupies space. So here you can see the things, whether living or non-living things, they are present in 3 states. So that is why there are 3 states of matter. So students, today we shall learn about matter in our surroundings. Now students, modern day scientists have evolved 2 types of classification of matter. One is based on physical properties and another one is based on the chemical properties of matter. Now, physical nature of matter. There were 2 beliefs. One group of scientists, they said that matter is continuous. Continuous like a wood or like a sheet of iron. And another group of scientists, they said that matter is made up of particles. So they said about the particle nature of matter, and one group of scientists, they said that the matter is continuous. Now students, find out whether the matter is particle or continuous. Now you do one thing, you take one beaker, you can take one vessel also, any glass vessel also, pour water in it and mark the level of water. After that you add sugar in it and observe the observations. What you will observe? Will the level of water change? Will sugar disappear? And if yes, why? The level of water will not change and sugar will disappear. But where that sugar has gone? Students, this is explained considering that matter is made up of particle. Now in the water, actually if you see water, the water, it is made up of particles and those particles have space between them. So when you dissolve sugar or when you mix sugar in water, that sugar, it comes and fills the gaps between the water. So this you can even see in the image which is shown in the document. Now students, we will study about the characteristics of particles of matter. What are the characteristics? What are the properties of particles of matter? Particles of matter have space between them. Particles of matter, as I told you, like if you take the case of book, which state of matter it is? It is solid state. When you will see it under a powerful microscope, or you will find that this book actually is made up of very, very fine particles. And in case of solids, these particles are very close to each other. They don't leave their position. They remain in their position. That is why solids are hard. This you have studied in your lower classes, na? So this book, what is this book? This book is also made up of very, very fine particles, and those particles, they do not leave their position. They remain there and they are very close to each other, but still there is a space between them. Now if you take a liquid state of matter, if you take milk, if you take water, even they are also made up of particles, but in those particles the space is more as compared to solid, and those particles, they move more than solids. If you take gaseous form of matter, if you take air or if you take smoke, what is even that is also made up of particles, but the space between the particles is more and these particles move freely. So what are the characteristics of particles of matter? The particles of matter have space between them. Second property is they are continuously moving. They are not stationary, but they are continuously moving. Now you refer activity 1.3. Burn an incense stick at one corner. Incense stick, you understand, agarbatti, and you will get the smell everywhere. Why it happens? Because when you burn the incense stick, the smoke comes out, and that contains particles, and the particles have space between them, and those particles, they can move freely. The particles of the gases, they move freely, but particles of the solids, they are stationary. They do not leave their position, and particles of liquid can leave more. They slide over one another. That all you have studied in your lower classes. So in case of gas, when you burn agarbatti or incense stick, the smoke is there, and that smoke contains the particles which move freely, and that is why the smell, it spreads everywhere. So this shows, this activity, or this it shows that the particles of matter is continuously moving. They are not stationary. Okay. Now just refer activity 1.4. Students, you take two glass vessels. Okay. Mark the level of water again. In beaker 1, you add ink, drop of red ink. And in beaker 2, you add little amount of honey, and record your observations. What you will observe? You will observe that the red ink spreads in the water very fast, and honey, it takes time in spreading. Why it happens? Red ink spreads very fast, but honey takes time. Red ink is what? It is a liquid state of matter, and honey is a semi-solid. So in liquid or in red ink, what is there? Particles are there, but the particles have more space between them, and they are moving but whereas in case of honey, what is happening there? The particles have less space between them, and the particles are not moving so much as compared to the particles of red ink. So in case of red ink, since the particles are moving more, these particles, they move and they fill the gaps of water faster than the particles of honey. Particles of honey are also moving, but very less as compared to that of red ink. It also spreads and fills the spaces, but slowly. So this example also shows that the particles of matter, it is continuously moving. Now just refer activity 1.5, students. Now in activity 1.5, again, children, chemistry is totally experimental based. Now in activity 5, students, again you take two beakers, glass vessels you can take, or you can take two beakers also. And here what you do, you take water, but water kept at different temperature. In beaker 1, you take cold water, and in beaker 2, you take hot water. Understood? Now, in both the beakers, you add copper sulfate crystals. Copper sulfate crystals are blue in color. Add copper sulfate crystals in beaker A containing cold water. Add copper sulfate crystals in beaker 2 or beaker B containing hot water, and it is blue in color. And record your observations. What you will observe? How much time? Okay, for sure the water will become blue. Why the water will become blue? Because the it will spread. The particles of copper sulfate crystals, it will mix in water. It will fill the spaces between the water particles. That you will observe. But in which case it will take fast, whether in hot water or in cold water. So this will take place fast. Mixing of copper sulfate crystals will take fast in hot water, that is beaker B. Why it will take fast in beaker B? Why it will take place? If anyone knows the answer, you can please use your microphone to answer me. Because in both, in cold water also, hot water also, the particles are moving. But in hot water, the blue color of copper sulfate will appear fast as cold water. Okay, so students, here temperature plays a very important role. Temperature increases the rate of mixing. Okay, so if the temperature is more, the particles, it means if the temperature is more, the particle moves more faster and mixes fast. Mixes fast, they will only fill the gaps which is present in the water particles. So the rate of mixing, it is increased by increasing the temperature. Now what is the concept behind it? I will tell you the concept behind it. Children, what is the second characteristic of matter? That matter is continuously moving. Particle of matter is continuously moving. Now, continuously moving means they have kinetic energy. Any moving thing has energy, which is called as kinetic energy. So, particles of matter has kinetic energy. In case of solid, the kinetic energy is very less because they don't move. They remain in their position. In liquid, the kinetic energy is more in particles of matter, and in gases they move freely, so kinetic energy is maximum. Now what happens here in cold water and in hot water? In cold water also the particles are moving. Okay, they have kinetic energy, but when the temperature is increased, what happens? They get extra energy. So they get more energy and they move fast, and they fill up the spaces between the water particles faster than in case of cold water. And this is also called as diffusion, that I have explained you in biology also. Diffusion, it is the intermixing of two things or substances on its own from the region of the higher concentration to the region of the lower concentration. So increase in temperature increases the rate of diffusion. Now, third property of matter is the particles of matter, they attract each other. Okay, what is the third property? Particles of matter attract each other. Now students, this third property of matter we will discuss in next class, but before that I would like to tell you something which is not given in the book, and that is there are three states of matter: solids, liquids, gases. Solid, liquid and gases. Now students, all the three states of matter are made up of particles. Now you have studied two properties, so I will tell you those two properties first. Now in solids also particles are there, liquids also gases, but in case of solids the particles are very close to each other. Okay, it is first property is particles of matter has space between them. So in case of solid the space is very less. In liquids the space is more, and in gases the space is still more. You can see the image in the document. Then second characteristic of matter is the matter is continuously moving. In case of solids also matter particles of second characteristics, particles of matter are continuously moving. In solid state also particles of matter is moving, but very little movement is seen there. They do not leave their position. That is why they are solids. In liquids the particles are moving, they can slide over one another, but they also do not leave their position. They can leave their position during sliding, but they do not go very far. In case of gases the particles they move freely. Okay, so rest things we will discuss in another class. Now I would like to give a short test to you. Please write the answers, and later on I will give you the answers. Okay, first question is, I will give you maybe 7-8 minutes to complete it. Write two characteristics of particles of matter. What is diffusion? What is physical nature of matter? If sugar is added in milk, what will happen and why? What is the effect of temperature on kinetic energy of matter? What is the effect of temperature or kinetic energy of particles of matter? Please write the answers. I can ask the answer from any child, okay, and you will tell the answer using your microphone. Nandini, can you give me the answer of question number 4 by using your microphone? Okay. Question number 2. What is the physical nature of matter? Akash, can you give the answer by using your microphone? Konki, can you give me the answer of the same question using your microphone? What is the effect of temperature on kinetic energy of particles of matter? What is the effect of temperature on kinetic energy of particles of matter? Sushmita, just try to give the answer by using the microphone. Dibangi, you also give the answer to the same question. That is, what is the effect of temperature on kinetic energy of particles of matter? Sumaya, give me the answer to question number 2. What is the physical nature of matter? What is the physical nature of matter? You can use your microphone to answer the question. Others, you try to write the answers. This is the test. Or students, you will write all the answers and I can ask any child to answer using the microphone. I can ask 2 or 3 students also to answer the same question. So, if you have any doubts, you can clarify it in the during the evening classes. I will give you the question answers. I will make notes and then I will just make a PDF file and upload in the campus care. What you have to do, children, since I will be teaching you chemistry and biology, you will make your copies. You will make one thick copy divided into 2 parts. First part for chemistry, another part for biology. Or you can do one thing, you can also make separate copies. I feel making separate copies, that will be better. Make one chemistry copy, make one biology copy. And I will give few questions for homework that you have to do on your own and few questions for classwork. For classwork, what I will do is, I will just write the question answers and I will upload in the campus care. You have to open it and you have to write it in the copy. Please write it in the copy. Question answers. Okay. And one message I have to give is that children just follow the directions to write the attendance. First, name, that too in capital letter, class, subject scheduled subject, then you have to write date, present or absent. Kindly follow the instructions given to you by father to write the attendance. Thank you very much. If you have any doubt, you can clear it in the evening classes. 1-to-1 doubt, you can use your microphone and you can clear your doubts. Don't hesitate in clearing your doubts. Thank you very much.